Live out in being open, shine from my life like the sun. Give of your goodness, conquer the darkness, spirit of light and love, oh Spirit. Move through me, love through me, oh Spirit, Spirit in me, oh Spirit. Spirit, yes, live through me, oh Spirit, in me, oh Spirit.
Spirit in me, through me, as me. I invite you now to turn with Him. Join me in our opening treatment, our word for affirmative prayer, by taking a deep breath and knowing that that breath is Spirit in you. Spirit in me, Spirit in you, one Spirit that unifies us, that reminds us that we are the love of God. We are Spirit in form. We are the vehicle, the expression of love. And so, as we open this Sunday celebration today, we open our hearts and our minds to remember and to recognize that in every moment we are here as an expression of the one. We are here to be this magnificent vessel for love to move through each one of us into the world. That is how important each one of us is. That is how meaningful this moment is. That is how we recognize our purpose in the world as the expression of Spirit, as the love of God. And how magnificent that we have this beautiful spiritual center where we join together to recognize this truth in each other. It is through this recognition that we allow more and more of God to move through us. We allow more and more of God's love and peace to move through us out into the world where each one of us truly makes a difference. And so we come together now to declare that we are here to represent this truth. We are here to be peace in the world. We are here to be love in the world. We do this by allowing our hearts to open and allow Spirit in us to move through. So that is how we move into this Sunday celebration today with such joy, because this is the truth of who we are. This is who we get to be. And so as I stand here, I know that each one of us is this full expression, and as we move through this service, we become even a fuller expression of God in the world. And so I know that Spirit blesses this service. It blesses each one of us. It blesses the music, the message, the speaker, the food that we share, the fellowship that we share, the friendships that we share, for each one is an expression of spirit in us. How grateful I am in this moment. How full of gratitude is my heart for each one that is present here, each one that says, yes, I am here to be love in the world, I am here to be peace in the world. No matter what is happening in the world, in the midst of all that is happening, we stand as love, we stand as peace, and we stand as joy. And so I release this word knowing it goes forth into the law and it is returned to us full, for that is the only way it can be. For it is already known, it is already done, and for this and so much more we say, thank you, God. And so it is. And so it is. Amen. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown, a vibrant community where love, joy, and inclusivity are at the heart of everything that we do. Here we honor the unique journey of every soul, offering a place of healing, growth, and celebration. Together, we create an atmosphere of openness and love where every person is seen, valued, and accepted, just as we are. Look around at everyone here. You are all seen, valued, and accepted, just as you are. And we're so grateful to have a place where we get to come and know that, and express that, and be that. So my name is Reverend Janice Blair. I am a minister here at Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown. You already heard the wonderful music of Rhonda Dene, who is blessing us today. So thank you all for joining us, whether you're here in person, whether you are watching us on the live stream right now. We welcome you. Thank you for being here. Or whether you're checking us out at a later time. We are so happy that you are part of this journey of shared wisdom, light, and transformation. The 2025 theme at Centers for Spiritual Living is Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. Rising Higher, Growing Deeper. So the monthly theme for April, this is the first Sunday in April, is Fertilizing Our Future. The topic today is Divine Order is Supernatural, and that topic was chosen and will be spoken by our wonderful guest speaker today, Kris Ferraro. So Kris is our practitioner at Rockland CSL, and we are blessed to welcome her today, and she will actually be with us on the first Sunday of every month. She's going to be like a resident guest speaker, so we're grateful for that. So I have a little bit more to say about Kris. Kris is an author, an energy coach, spiritual practitioner, who frequently speaks to diverse audiences, spreading a message of practical empowerment through faith, balanced energy, and spiritual wisdom. Specializing in helping clients with anxiety and grief, her private practice is in its 20th year. It's beautiful. So she's written 3 books. Her first book, Energy Healing, introduces new audiences to energy psychology. Her second book, Manifesting is the name of that, distills 10 years of her best metaphysical teachings. And her latest book, this is my favorite title, Your Difference is Your Strength, love that, invites readers into radical self-love and acceptance. So next month, on May 4th, when Kris is back, she's going to bring her book. She's going to do a little presentation after our celebration, and she's going to do a book signing. So you're invited to come back for that. Okay, we're going to now start, as we start every Sunday, to move into our Namaste greeting. So we all know that Namaste means the divinity in me recognizes and honors the divinity in you. And when I am in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there's only one of us. So today we're going to, Rhonda has a beautiful song chosen for us, so I'm playing off of that. So she's going to play a song called Allowing. And the first step, last week when I spoke about the vibration of willingness. And that is what, we need this idea. We need to be willing to change and to be in the world and see things in a different way. And allowing is part of that vibration of willingness. So if you allow yourself to see the divinity in everyone and allow yourself to come from that place, then we're living in a state of namaste. So today, I invite you to say, you can repeat it after me and you'll say it to each other, I allow the divinity in me.
I allow the divinity in me
To honor and respect the divinity in you.
to honor and respect the divinity in you.
So everybody stand up and turn to a few people and offer your allowing.
The divinity allows me to see the divinity in you. I think it's something Yeah, that's good.
Namaste. Yeah, there you go. Namaste. 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 Namaste.
It's all about allowing peace within. In absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storm subsided and calm becomes a wave, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burdens and just simply letting go. For as you cease to struggle and love pours through your heart, it's all about allowing it to start. Now feel it warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying love, different from anything you've ever known. And now that seed has grown. It's all about allowing change to show, then living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you tried. It's all about allowing it inside. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For when you cease to struggle and love flows through your heart, it's all about allowing it. It's all about allowing it.
I love Rhonda so much, but she's a hard act to follow. She always gets me so choked up right before I have to speak, but that's because she sings from her heart. And what a perfect song for today, to talk about allowing. So I am really honored to be here with you all. I was first introduced to religious science, I can't tell you how many years ago, at this very community. It was my first time. I had tried with Unity, and then I went to the Morristown Center, and then I ended up being in Montclair for a number of years. And so it just feels like family. It's like I'm looking back on these 25 years in metaphysics, and I see familiar faces and paths that have crossed, and veritable strangers that I know will become friends. So I'm just honored to be here with you all. So let's do some meditating together, okay? So if you have a particular body position or something that you like to do with your hands while you're meditating, then by all means do that. And if you would like to try something new, you can place one hand on top of the other and bring it to the center of the chest. And you might even want to take the upper arms and just give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. This is called the serenity hold. And so sometimes when we move into a position, it helps our mind to follow along. And so if you're comfortable, close your eyes if you haven't already. And let's start with a couple of deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So breathing in, letting it out. Breathing in and letting it out. And just focus on the inner world, letting the outside world of effect simply fall away. And as you focus on that inner realm, focus on the expansion and contraction of your lungs that take in and let go. Receive and give. This ever-flowing cycle that is our life force. Bring your awareness to it now. And if you'd like, you can add in the very simple mantra of I am, God is. I am, God is. I am, God is. Just syncing it up with the breath. if your mind wanders, simply bring it back. You can switch this up. Love is, I am. Love is, I am. Peace is, I am. Now let's send an intention into every cell of our bodies. My intention is to recognize that I am one with all that is. And trust that intention is going to exactly where it is most needed, to remind you of how powerful you are. And we're going to close this session with those same breaths that we began with. Breathing in through the nose, blow it out. In and out. And then be gentle. I like to kind of tap my body a little bit, bring myself back into the here and now. Feel your feet on the floor and the chair supporting you. And just gently open your eyes whenever you're ready. So, my topic today is divine order is supernatural. And if you took a peek in my car, you would wonder why I would be doing such a topic. As a creative, as someone who has attention deficit disorder, I have had a complicated relationship with order. There are times in my life that I have confused accumulation for abundance. They are not the same thing. I'm here to tell you. And yet, I'm finding the message of order coming up over and over and over again because we are living in a time of great disorder. Anyone have to call a customer service agent recently? Doesn't matter the business, Doesn't matter who you got on the phone, you may have recognized the feeling of chaos that's running through a lot of what we are experiencing right now in our modern world, our modern, very changing world. And it's led to an epidemic of overwhelm and of what I call epic distraction. And so as someone who is an ADD OG, who diagnosed myself with this condition by watching Oprah when in my 20s and recognizing that the struggle that I had with order that was within me was actually a condition and maybe I could stop beating up on myself about it, I have been looking at the area of focus ever since. Because the truth is that our focus is our number one currency. It is that which we are voting for over and over and over again with our thoughts, with our feelings, with our attention, okay? And so, even if you are not an ADD person, your smartphone may be turning you into one. I have seen it happen with people that I have known over many years who are very orderly thinkers have become a lot more scattered. And the studies that they've done on children and what has happened when smartphones took off, the research is back and it's pretty scary. It has led to an epidemic of this. And yet, what we know within this teaching is how imperative it is that we direct our thoughts not on what the current condition and reality is, but on what we want to see in the world, who we want to be, who we want to become, what we want to have, what we want to see for ourselves, what we want to see for everyone else. And so how do we create order in this time of disorder? Because the truth is that it is simply an outer manifestation of something that has lived within all of us. Otherwise, it wouldn't be showing up the way that it is. And so what can happen in those times of disorder and overwhelm is we try to control everything, which is extremely exhausting, including things that are absolutely beyond our control. Or we do what I affectionately call rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. We focus on the minutia. We get obsessed with the size of a font on a flyer, okay? We get really angry that our partner left a dirty coffee cup in the sink, and meanwhile there's way bigger issues that need to be addressed in that relationship. And so, when that happens, it is part of human nature that when we are uncertain, that when we are afraid, when we don't know, when we're living with times where things are beyond our control, that we're going to try to grasp and hold on and control things that can sometimes get in the way of what Spirit is trying to express through us. And so I'd love to share a story with you. So I worked in social services for 15 years, and then I left to work for a self-help company. And in the meantime, I had my little part-time energy healing business that was sort of limping along. And then I got fired from my last job. And in that, moving through that experience, because I had always prided myself on being the good girl and the great employee, and I went through this period of such shame and despair. I couldn't believe that this had happened to me. A week and a half before Christmas, I might add. It felt especially egregious. And so I realized that I was exhausted, that I was burned out, and that I was tired of being under the thumb of people that were not even on the level of where I was at. And so I had 6 months of unemployment, and I thought, okay, during this 6 months, I'm going to work on some stuff, and I'm going to do my newsletter, and I'm going to start to just put some energy into my business. And 2 months in, I thought, oh, I'm never, ever going to work for anyone else ever again. Because I fell madly in love with this incredibly beautiful practice, and to be able to touch people the way that I could also meant that I had to go out on uncertainty and I had to go out on faith. not easy to do for a highly sensitive, ADD, scattered, disorganized person. And yet, within all of that, it became very clear that I had to make some decisions. I had to make some choices. I had owned a home that was over 100 years old. I honestly don't know what I was thinking. I can hardly hang a shelf. It was a very big thing that I manifested, and then once I got it, I was like, oh, what am I gonna do with this thing? And yet, I realized that if I was gonna pursue what I fully knew was my real vocation, my true divine nature, to do the work that I was meant to do, that home had to go. Because that dream that I had manifested 12 before, well, the dream had changed over those 12 years. And now that thing that was a blessing was now an albatross around my neck. And so I had to go from this pride that I had in myself, that as a single woman, that I had bought a house on my own. I had to move through all the stories about that. And I started looking for apartments. It was a very challenging time in my life. My father was very sick. I very clearly knew that he was going to be making his transition, that he didn't seem to know, my mom didn't seem to know, and the doctors were not telling them. And so I felt an enormous burden on my shoulders as I'm witnessing what he's going through. But I knew the time was now. And I had a conversation with him. And this was my father, who's very old school, okay? Born in 1931. You do the right thing, you have the 9-to-5 job, you work 10 jobs. If you possibly can do 10 jobs is good. Our family was on a very specific working class work ethic. And so for some reason, I opened up to him. And I said, you know, Dad, I really am so loving what I'm doing, but the house has become way too much for me to do, and I probably am going to have to go back and get a full-time job. And he said, don't do it. And that's how I knew that a big change was happening within him. And so when he backed me up, I almost went to him for him to tell me to do the right thing and get the real job and not take a chance on me and my dream. And then he totally shocked me by backing me up. I couldn't believe it. And so I started looking for places to go. And when I had ever looked for apartments before, I had a full-time job, I had pay stubs. Suddenly I was encountering some resistance. There was apartment places that I went to that said, oh, you're self-employed? Yeah, we don't rent to people that are self-employed. And so a lot had changed in that time while I had been a homeowner. And then out of the blue, I get an email from somebody in Montclair, an acquaintance, who said, I heard you're looking for a place. I had barely told anyone. I also had a long list of things I was going to do to manifest the right apartment, but I was so busy I never actually got a chance to get to that list. And so here comes this email and said, there's an apartment open in my building, and here's my landlord's number. And for some reason I called. And immediately it looked like what I did not want. I wanted a 2-bedroom, this was a 1-bedroom. I didn't want to move back to Montclair, I wanted to go someplace else. For whatever reason, I decided that's what I wanted. But I decided to go check it out anyway because the landlord said to me, oh, you're Julio's friend? Well, if you see it and you like it, it's yours. He didn't ask me what I did, he didn't care. I had an in that was going on here. And so I showed up and I saw the place and I walked in, and it was thankfully a very sunny day, and there was enormous windows in every room, including the bathroom, and sunlight coming in from all directions. And there was parking, and it was right in downtown Montclair, where I had sort of circulated around since 1990, a very familiar safe space. And it was a 1-bedroom, but the rooms were enormous with very, 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 very high ceilings and old world charm and hardwood floors and an enormous dining room that would make a perfect home office. And still I was like, I don't know. It's like $100 more I'm planning on paying. And then I walked out and I ran into the upstairs neighbor who ended up being someone from my previous community. Another person I knew lived there. There's only 7 apartments, y'all. I knew 3 apartments full of people. That's a pretty high percentage. That's like a 30-40% there, okay? And I said to the landlord, I don't know, let me think about it. And I walked out and I ran into that person I knew and I was chit-chatting about the building. And as I walked out, the landlord was pulling away and I ran after his car and I said, I'll take it. And the rent that I got did not increase for 5 years. Now, for those of you that are homeowners, you probably think, what's the big deal? You pay your mortgage same amount all the time. This is extremely unusual, that for 5 years I just never got an increase. And then during COVID, rent control was enacted in Montclair. And then they did start charging me, but they were only allowed to charge me 4% per year. And so here I am 7.5 years later, living in a place that if I had gotten another apartment that was $100 less per month, I would be paying far exponentially more than I am now. The only thing that I could do during that practice when I was running around busy and dealing with my father and running my business and getting rid of downsizing things out of my home was to affirm that divine order was here. And I knew that divine order was absolutely supernatural. This was in the fall of 2017. I had no idea that COVID was going to be happening, that I was going to be creating community within that small group of apartments where we sign for each other's packages and we cook meals and share them with each other and we watch one another's pets when we go out of town. It has become a sanctuary and a home that I could not have imagined. But in my human resistance of what I thought it was supposed to look like, got in the way, but I have learned to trust the flow. I've learned to trust the signs. How did Julio know that I was looking for an apartment? I didn't even know he had my email address. How did he get in touch with me? Why did this guy say he was gonna rent to me? He never even met me. So of course I didn't have to have the awkward conversation of, oh, by the way, I'm an energy healer. What a relief. He couldn't have cared less. And so it was a very good lesson for me in the balance of surrender and control, of letting go of the things that were beyond my control and following the surrender that was flowing me forward. But when we are overwhelmed, it can be really hard to do that because we are grasping at the sand as it is flowing through our fingers. And if only we could let go, relax, and allow it to unfold, we would feel more at peace within ourselves. And yet we are seeing reflections all around us that really make that very, very difficult to do. I am not going to be able to change what is happening in Washington. I'm not going to be able to change what's happening in Trenton. I'm not a firm believer in the old school metaphysician way of burying our heads in the sand and pretending that what is happening is not happening. I don't do that. I really fully believe that it's imperative that we witness what's going on so we can take right and perfect action. For each and every one of us, that right and perfect action will be different. You know, for some it's going to look like activism. For someone else it's going to be volunteerism. For someone else it's going to be going into a group and volunteering services. For someone else it's going to show up like donating food to a food pantry. It can look like anything. But what is yours to do in all of this? It's imperative that we move into the space in the universe that was designed just for us. And when we are trying to do the work that is intended for others, not only are we not doing that very effectively, we're also not doing what is ours to do. And so it is so important that we move into radical self-love and self-acceptance, to honor our rhythms as they unfold, to sit in prayer and meditation and ask, what is mine to do? And sometimes to wait for what those marching orders are. Because whatever it is that's yours to do, it's going to make your life force expand. Whatever is yours to do, you're going to really love and enjoy doing it. What is yours to do is not going to drain you and irritate you and make you want to hide under the bed. It feels very differently. When you just sit and ask, what is mine to do? A couple of weeks ago, I got a message from an organization in Montclair called Out Montclair. So it's for the LGBTQA plus community. And they said, we're having an emotional wellness event. We wanted to know if you wanted to come and present. I said, absolutely, I will be there. I showed up, I had handouts, I brought free copies of my last book and handed them out to everyone. At the end, they're like, we want to give you a stipend. I was like, keep it. Because I was so enriched by that experience of being in community, of offering these things that I know really, really well, because I've been doing them for a really, really, really long time, and I've been teaching them forever. It took very little preparation. I felt super excited to be there. I loved connecting with the people that I was connecting with. I left that event on a high. Because that night, I was in my rightful place, doing what I could uniquely do, and doing it from deep passion and an almost evangelical need to try to offer relief wherever I can. And that was so important within my most local of communities. I connected with people that live in the same town that I've never even met before. It was so incredible to say, oh my God, the times I was the fish looking for water, and the water was within and all around me. The times I was looking and searching for, and here was this all around me. And so I'm going to share some practices with you that I think are going to help you to ease that need for controlling that which is beyond our control. Anyone have any family members? Anyone? This is a rich time to be in a family, y'all. Woo! Is it a rich time to be in a family? Lots of opinions, lots of ideas, lots of things rising up, lots of conflict. At least in my family, it's been there. It has been a great exercise in letting go of what is beyond my control and tuning in to where is my focus, where is my attention, where am I investing, where am I spending my focus. So I'm going to tell y'all, make some changes with the phone. Put yourself on a digital detox and blackout. I am a business owner. I am connected to my phone all the time. I get emails from clients. I run my calendar out of that. I get speaking engagements through there. There are times that I just shut it off. Because I know that if I go to check the weather on my phone, I may perhaps spend a little more than 30 seconds getting that information because the device is designed to get my attention. Because once I go on there, oh, there's an alert on Facebook, a new email came in, right? I am trusting that God is my business manager, my PR representative, and absolutely my accountant. And so I am not going to be distracted that something that is running through a device that I can use in many positive ways and do is owning me. I own my devices do not own me. When you do this, if you do this, you might find yourself going through a little bit of a detox reaction. Oh, I wanted to pick up my phone. It will subside. Breathe and move forward. I wanted to share an affirmation with you from Reverend Bronte Colbert that I have found to be particularly effective. As I affirm that there is one presence and power in my life, all else falls into place. I claim divine order now. As I affirm there is one presence and power in my life, all else falls into place. I claim divine order now. I have turned back to some of the metaphysical classics that were my entryway into metaphysics in 1997. If you have not read The Golden Key by Emmett Fox, you can Google it. It is so old, it is royalty free. There are PDFs everywhere, okay? And the basic gist of it is, when encountering everything that feels wrong, bad, or stressful, you pivot and turn your attention back to God. One of the mantras he includes is, there is no power but God. There is no power but God. There is no power but God. That one works really well for me. He's got some other suggestions, and by all means, you can make up one for yourself. So when you're in the parking lot at the supermarket and people are fighting over a parking space and you start to get that, this is wrong, this isn't right, this isn't the way I want it to be stuff, you can claim the power of God in that moment for yourself, and sometimes it has a nice effect on everybody else too. I love let go, let God, but let go and let God is only working for you if it changes the way that you feel. I have seen people say, I'm letting go and letting God. Not working. Not working, okay? It's important that when we're using affirmations, when we're using prayer, that we get to the state that we want to be in, which is the feeling nature of peace, receptivity, and faith. And we can only know by checking in, so that we're not doing these things rote, we're not doing them mindlessly, which is really easy to do because the mind memorizes something and then it just goes to that thing and it's just trying to use that thing and you're using the same thing, and sometimes that same thing is not working. So let go and let God is an amazingly beautiful mantra. Is it actually letting you let go? That's something that you need to check in with. And if it's not doing it, then you need to pivot and bring in something else. Something that is going to work with the body. So I'd like to share with you a very brief and easy exercise that calms down stress hormones, that gets us out of a shock response, like, you know, right after you've driven anywhere in New Jersey. Okay? What it does biologically is it enables us to come out of a fight or flight experience, to bring blood back to the left and right hemispheres of the brain. Do you know in treatment what we're really doing is working with the left and right hemispheres of the brain? The left brain is, I've got a problem and I want it to change, or I want to create something. The left brain is needed for that. It's got to identify what it is. The steps of treatment, right? That's within the left brain. And then in the act of treatment, we move into the right hemisphere, the creative aspect. So what this exercise does is enables the left and right hemispheres to communicate much more effectively together, which when we're in stress is very difficult to do. We usually stay in left. There's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. I need a solution, there's a problem, there's a problem. Solution's over here, but you have to be able to get to it. So we call these the oh my God points. And the reason for that is that if you've ever heard something shocking, you may have brought your hand up to your forehead and went, oh my God! It's because on some level you knew that this would help you to feel better. So if you'd like to play with me, place a flat hand on your forehead. And then you can take your other hand and place it on the back of the head right above that ridge. We're just holding our head here, right? And we're going to add in breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathing in Blowing out. Breathing in. Blowing out. And what's nice about this exercise, if you do it at home, you can lay on a couch or a bed and put pillows under your elbows so you can support this. And just focus on that breathing. I'm yawning. That means you all are shifting. That's compliments to the chef over here. Breathing in, blowing out. Good. Let's just do a little gentle shake out. Okay. Something very simple, very intuitive, that brings calming to yourself with these beautiful things that you have with you 24/7. Your own precious body, your own vital life force. I have found when I've had ruminating thinking, a simple thing that I can do to get me out of the ruminating, I call it my inner lawyer. My inner lawyer gets activated. My inner lawyer starts presenting a case. My inner lawyer is like, this is wrong, or this person is wrong. Here's all the reasons why. I present to you Exhibit A. And then there's Exhibit B. And then 25 years ago, I haven't forgotten, Exhibit C, right? We all have this aspect of ourselves. It's just trying to keep us safe, right? It's trying to mount a defense. You're not even in court, and it's playing out inside of you. The simple thing that you can do is simply to hum. Humming activates the vagus nerve. It's the largest nerve in the body. Brings calm. So I want you to bring to mind something that you maybe recently have ruminated on. And it could be personal, it could be global, it could be something that you've seen. And let's just hum together. Are you thinking about it right now? No. Right? So in addition to singing along to your favorite, tracks when you're in the car or at home, hum along too, to stimulate that nerve in the back of the neck. I fully believe that if we are in a body, which each and every one of us is, there is a lot to be learned from the human experience. I've also had the great pleasure of being with people that are very elevated beings. And in those elevated beings, they're no longer in their body. It was very clear that their mission on Earth School was complete, and they went back and they made their transition. If we haven't transitioned, bringing our body into our spiritual practices is so incredibly powerful. It is as holy as the rest of us, because we know that there is only one energy, one God, one life, and it lives within the intelligence that is within us. And so I just invite you to look at that issue of surrender and control, to let go of that which is beyond your control, to focus on your awareness, your focus, where is that going? And when it's challenging, turn to the wisdom of the body to allow you to break free. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Kris. Such a relevant topic, so many great tools. So if I see any of you going around, I'll know that you're surrendering, and that's wonderful. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
So now it's time for us to share our abundance and the energy of spirit that moves through us, that circulates and allows us to continue to have this wonderful place to come to celebrate every week. There are many ways that we give here. We have wonderful volunteers. Today I want to thank Charlie for doing our social hour, and everybody who brings food and everybody who shows up. And and our greeters and all of our volunteers. It's a beautiful way to serve and to give. We have a lot of electronic ways to give, Venmo, PayPal. You can go to the website and give, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. And we pass a little basket around. I still like doing this. You know, I remember when I was, you pass it back. I remember I grew up Catholic and there used to be ushers and they had those long baskets with the handles, you know? So it brings me back. But it's all about allowing our abundance to circulate. So I invite you to just put your hands over your heart because we give from our heart. So beautifully, I love the way that Kris brings in the idea of using our body and feeling that. So just repeat after me and let the words just resonate. Divine love consecrates my gift.
Divine love consecrates my gift.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless.
It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless.
It returns to me multiplied abundantly.
It returns to me multiplied abundantly.
As I share my good,
As I share my good,
I accept my greater good,
I accept my greater good.
and so it is.
And so it is.
I have some announcements today. Next Sunday, April 13th, we're having an important community gathering. We've done these, you know, for the past year. We share information, we hear feedback from you, we have some important things we want to share. So we're having a potluck social hour next week. Invite everybody to bring some goodies to share. And right after that, we're going to be doing our community gathering. So we invite you to join us. Something new that Jean came up with. I love Jean. She has these wonderful ideas and they often involve food. And she is an incredible cook, if you've ever had anything that she's come up with. So she has this idea, and so her and I are cordially inviting you for tea and conversation. It's going to be kind of like the high tea idea, and Jean is preparing all the lovely little crumpets and so forth. We're going to try it at first during the week. It's Thursday, April 24th at 4 o'clock right here at the center. And it's just a time to come together, let our hair down, share stories, get to know each other. Like on a real social, sharing tea, sharing ideas, sharing things about our future here and what's going on here, whatever it is. So that's going to be happening, and we really need you to register. There's a sign-up sheet over here so Jean can have enough food for everybody. Right? So that's happening on April 24th. After social hour today, our queen of social events, Lynn, is putting together an excursion to see daffodils today at Reed's Reed Arboretum in Summit. She says they have a huge field planted exclusively with various types of daffodils, and it should be at peak bloom now. People are invited to meet there or carpool from here. It's $10 to get in. Parking is on the street. There's Lynn. Everybody knows who she is. You can see her for details after social hour today. I think that's all I have. Okay, I'm going to invite Rhonda to come up and get ready for our final song, and invite Kris back up, who is going to do the closing treatment for us. Have a beautiful Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. Closing treatment first.
Oh, closing treatment first, okay. As I shut my eyes and I let go of effect, I go within to this place that I sometimes neglect, where I feel my connection to all that is or could ever be, the one energy, the one light, the one God that is within everyone and everything that has ever been or will ever be. This one incredible presence that has created me out of itself. I am made in the image and the likeness of the one. And as that is true for me, it's true for each and every one of you. All beautifully and perfectly made. And so as we come together and allow ourselves to feel that connection to all that is, what I am trusting and knowing on behalf of us all is that we are feeling so loved. that in moments expected and unexpected, that the veils are lifted, and there too, divine love flows. I know that as it's flowing through each and every one of us, it is flowing through body, mind, and spirit. That it has universal intelligence and knows exactly what each of us most need and is providing that right now. And that we allow ourselves to be enveloped in the love, the all of the all, the good of the good. And in that way, each and every one of us is blessed. I know that we have clarity about who we are and our role in this divine mosaic of light and love. That each of us are stepping forward with a courage that is allowing us to say, I am here and I am here to be of service. That we are doing it from a place of fullness within and then giving from the depths of our heart. And that we are standing more in our power today and every day than we ever have before. That there is no ceiling, it just continues to grow. And as it grows, we are led to exactly what we are most needing to embrace. And we open our arms wide and allow ourselves to receive. Life is here, love is here as me. I do what is mine to do, and I leave the rest up to God, trusting and knowing that within all, a higher truth is emerging that is allowing us to step into a world that works for everyone. I am part of that creative process. Each and every one of us is a part of that creative process. And we let it be easy. We let it be joy-filled. We let it be filled with light. So with such enormous gratitude for being in this room, for being in this energy, for coming together and remembering who each of us is, who one another is, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, sweet spirit. Thank you, great love. Thank you, the greatness of life itself. Thank you for transformation, and thank you for the life preserver that is thrown to each and every one of us when we most need to grab on. All of us are given what we are needed. And so I surrender this word. I remember that God is God, that the creator of the mountains and the waterfalls and everything and everyone in between is infinite and has no beginning and no end, can certainly handle this. And so I allow, I trust, I move into the faith that I have as I have the faith in the rising sun, even on the days I cannot see it. It is without question. And so together, let's let this all go and let's let God. The word has been spoken and the word is so. And so it is. Amen. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I could all do it by myself, and I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the grace of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, let it all go. Let it all go. This is what you have to say. Yes, I